Hello everyone, my name is Shelby. Welcome back to my channel. Today I thought we could do my reading journal setup. So it has been a hot second since I did anything bullet journal related on my video. It's just really hard to find time that I can spend 3 hours filming and setting up my journal, but I kind of had a lull in the week, so I thought this would be the perfect time to do it. So I decided that this month's theme would be Gilmore Girls. Every year I do a rewatch of the entire series in the fall time just because I think it is the perfect time of year to watch the extravagant lives of the Gilmores. So to start off, as usual, I will be doing my cover page. This is basically the spread before I do my cover page. I like to kind of do a mood or collage board to start off my spread. So this time I took some inspiration from small towns in Connecticut. I wanted to be fall colors, but I also wanted it to have a kind of Stars Hollow theme. So the first picture I printed out was of Luke's, which is the staple of the Stars Hollow community. And then I really just looked up small fall towns because there weren't a lot of pictures of Stars Hollow in the fall on the internet that I could find, but I think it ended up looking pretty great. I also have a quote there: "Life's short, talk fast." If you've ever watched Gilmore Girls, you know that Lorelai and Rory talk at pretty extreme rates. I always have subtitles on so I can understand what they're saying, but I thought that was kind of a fun quote to put at the beginning. So next up, we are going to work on the title page for this spread. I decided to use some inspiration from Ray's Daily Page, which is a bullet journaling and lifestyle blog. I absolutely adored Ray's quote page that she had in her blog, and I decided to use that style as the title page for mine. I just really like how she drew the Stars Hollow sign, and that's why I decided to use it, but I will link her blog post down below so you can check out her entire Gilmore Girls spread. The nice thing about this kind of Gilmore Girls Stars Hollow spread is that you can really do it for any season. It is super versatile. All you have to do is change out the different doodles you do. So for fall, I did lots of falling leaves, some pumpkins, a hay bale, but you can really change it up for any season you choose to do. For the color scheme for this spread, I actually chose a bunch of different colors, and I was really worried at first that they wouldn't mesh, but in the end they ended up looking beautifully cohesive. I used 2 different types of green, one light, one dark. I used some light and dark browns, a nice burgundy red, some oranges, and some yellows. And then of course we have this kind of light pink that I'm using for the sign, just so that it wouldn't look not colored in. So in the end, I think it looked amazing, and I love how cozy this spread is. Next up, we have the calendar that I do every single month. It's pretty much a staple. I haven't changed it up yet, but I have been looking into some options because, as I said, I've been doing it since the beginning of the year, so it might be nice to change it up for 2021, but for right now, this has worked perfectly. I would like to apologize for my absolutely atrocious brush lettering skills. It is something that I am continuously working on, but this isn't as bad as it's been in the past, so I'm actually pretty okay with it. Now I'm just adding some leaves like I had on the title page so it's cohesive. And as for the actual calendar, I don't use a ruler, and I know that might be kind of blasphemous to some people, but I just really don't have the energy to go out and buy a small ruler for my bullet journal. Honestly, I'm okay with the kind of wavy, not straight lines. It doesn't bother me that much, and it's just honestly so much faster this way. So sorry for those who are kind of annoyed by the wiggly lines, but it's just not something I care about that much. At the bottom of the calendar, I put my events section where I pull down any big events happening throughout the month, and then I also added a little quote to the bottom that says, "Oh, I can't stop drinking the coffee. I stopped drinking the coffee. I stopped doing the standing and the walking and the words putting into sentence doing," which of course is a quote from Lorelai Gilmore, and it pretty much describes me before I've had coffee in the morning, so I thought it was perfect. Gilmore Girls in general has always just been such a big part of my life. I remember starting to watch it when I was younger, and I remember my dad was actually the one who encouraged me to check it out, and I just remember absolutely loving Rory because she was kind of introverted and kind of a book nerd like me, and I just remember finding solace in that. And I think just forever this show will be such a big part in my life, and I love that I do a yearly rewatch just to catch up and remember, and it's just been such a great experience having this show in my life. Next to my calendar page, I have my TBR and my days read page. These are both a big staple in any bullet journal spread that I do. I just think it's really nice to have visual for the books that I want to read and how many days a month that I read. I think they're both really great things to track. For my to be read spread, I don't like to set a strict TBR for myself, so this is mostly just writing down the books that I would like to read in general, and then I allow myself to pick which ones appeal to me in the moment throughout the month. So this is by no means a strict TBR that I keep. It's just something I can look back on and be like, oh yeah, I remember I wanted to check out that book. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this month's days read section definitely took me the longest to sketch out and pen in. I wanted to do something cute and creative, not just like a circle or a square, so I decided I would do the Luke's coffee cup logo as my tracker. And that took a really long time. As you can see, I kind of penciled it out just to give myself a bit of a outline, but even that took so incredibly long, and even though I had the outlining it with the pen also took forever. But that being said, I think it turned out really well, so I guess all that effort was worth it. And it was just something I really wanted in my spread. I really wanted the Luke's coffee cup to kind of have its moment because that is such a staple and such a symbol of Gilmore Girls. So despite all the effort, I think it turned out pretty well. To kind of finish off this page, I decided to end it with a quote, "Where you lead, I will follow," which is of course from the Gilmore Girls theme song. Whenever that song comes on anywhere, my mind immediately goes back to Gilmore Girls, so I thought it'd be kind of nice to have that at the bottom, and I kind of wanted it to be like in the wind, I guess, if that makes sense. So I put some leaves around it. I kind of made it a wave with how I had the words laid out. I just wanted to make this quote seem in motion and moving, and I don't know if I completely accomplished that, but you know, it looks good. The final touch on this page is of course to add in all the numbers on the coffee cups, which didn't take as long, but you know, is vitally important. And then I think when I read for a day, so I usually count reading a chapter as having read that day, I think I'm gonna fill it in yellow, just like the Luke's coffee cups. So hopefully at the end of the month, that will look super cool. So the next page in this Gilmore Girls spread is my YouTube videos page, where I track every single video that I do during the month. This is where I have a checklist to make sure that I've filmed, edited, written the description, and created the thumbnail, and it's just really helpful in planning out and making sure that I'm getting everything done for each video. As we all know, Stars Hollow has so many festivals throughout the year, and I kind of wanted my title for this page to look like a sign for one of those festivals. So I have the pool and I have like a little sign on it. So I think it all looked really cute. Even if you don't get the whole festival sign thing, I think it turned out well. And then of course, I'm just adding some of the leaves that I've been doing throughout the spreads. And I have my 4 little squares for the 4 videos that I'm filming for the month. And within the boxes, I usually have the title, the date I posted it, and little checklists to make sure that I filmed it, that I've edited it, that I've written the description, and that I've created the thumbnail. So it's really good at just making sure that I'm on track for each video. I'm not going to fill in every single square right now, but I did one just as an example, just because it takes a while, and I thought it would not be as fun to watch me fill in all of those squares. At the bottom of this page, I decided to add one of my favorite quotes of all time from the show. It is said by Emily Gilmore, and the quote says, "Well then, buy me a feather boa and drive me to Reno because I am open for business." And if you have seen the show and know anything about Emily Gilmore, this is a pretty outrageous quote for her, and the scene she says it is so incredibly funny, and I just wanted to add it. But of course you can add any quote that you want if you decide to do this spread. I just really enjoy this one, and I just wanted a quote that made me laugh. So next up, I have my brainstorming page where I can really write anything I want, and I decided to have the title in a similar fashion to the YouTube video's title, and I think it makes the entire 2 pages look very cohesive and nice. And then at the bottom, I decided to do a little map of Stars Hollow, or like a little directions post, whatever you call that. So I created a little post and I had all of the classic stores that you'll see in Stars Hollow, from Luke's to Kim's Antiques to Dosey's Market to Al's Pancake World. But of course you can add different signs for your favorite shops, so you might add the Dragonfly Inn, or just anything you want. I just thought this was a kind of cute addition to the otherwise blank spread. It doesn't take that much room, so there are still tons of places to write ideas on for the brainstorming page. For the next page, I decided to do something a little different, something I haven't done before, obviously, because I've never done a Gilmore Girl spread before, but I decided to make a Gilmore Girl checklist, basically a bunch of things you can do to feel like a Gilmore Girl. So I have a section for food, a section for movies, a section for music, and a section for more food. So if you know or have ever seen the Gilmore Girls before, you know that Lorelai and Rory eat a ton. So my goal is to put down the different foods that you'll see them eating throughout the 7 seasons, and maybe pick a few of them to try to eat throughout the month of November. The Gilmore Girls also love watching a bunch of old movies, so I also intend to pick some of their favorites and watch them myself. And they listen to a lot of music, so also just finding some of the bands that the characters like in the show and listening to them. At the bottom, I just put some funny quotes from the show. So the first one says, "Reality has absolutely no place in our world." And the second one says, "I hate it when I'm an idiot and don't know it. I like to be aware of my idiocy." So just some fun quotes to add at the bottom, and I really like this spread and I can't wait to fill it in. We have reached the final page of this November spread, and that would be the books read page. This page is vitally important because it is where I keep track of all the books I read in November. This is where I keep track of what book I read, what rating I gave it, whether it was an ebook or an audiobook, how long it took me to read it, and if I have completed my Goodreads review of it. So this is super important, and I wanted it to just be pretty simple because there's going to be a lot of information being placed on this page throughout the month. So I did the title and the colors that I've been using throughout this entire theme. I added a little star to signify Stars Hollow at the top, and then I did my pretty basic table. I added 2 more picture quotes to the bottom of the page. One says, "Hey, let's get ice cream, I'm bored." And the other one says, "I'm fine, I'm just being dramatic, it's what I do." I relate to both of those quotes on a very personal level. I actually forgot to color in the actual table, but I will do that before I show you guys the final result. So overall, I am so incredibly happy with how this entire spread turned out. I think it is exactly what I imagined in my mind, just a cozy spread where I could celebrate Gilmore Girls and fall and just kind of everything that I love about this season. I went back in and I put all the numbers into my calendar, which is something I forgot to do before, and I just think that all of the colors and all of the leaves just give it such a cozy feeling, which is exactly what I wanted to express throughout this entire theme. As you can see, I also went back in and filled in the rest of the little squares, And just looking at it as an overview, I am just so happy, you guys. I don't even think I can express how happy I am that I was finally able to do this theme. I had been thinking about it for a while. I also added some of the stuff to the checklists, and I'm sure I'll be adding more throughout the month. I also finally colored in the table, but overall, you guys, I'm just so happy. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys liked it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Don't be afraid to tag me in any recreations of this spread. I would love to see it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!